What's happening, guys? Good morning, and we're off. We're leaving Bowhill, heading to probably halfway to Purnong, so we're only probably going to go about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and find a spot, have a bit of a camp over. Yeah, the motor's going good. I'll get out here now, and now the steering's playing up a bit, but if it's not one thing, it's another. But hydraulic steering, I think it might need bleeding. It's still working good enough for me to keep going. So we're going to get to this spot, try and get to a little camping spot. I haven't had a camping spot by myself yet where I can have a fire, so I'm hoping there's a couple up around the corner. Then I'm going to hopefully get the steering all sorted, and we will head to Purnong for the weekend. Well, I can't seem to get a trick at the moment. The steering was a bit weird when I left Bowhill, but I thought it's hydraulic steering. I thought it might just need bleeding. So it was still steering alright, but I had to turn the steering wheel twice as far as what I normally would. But we managed to get through the fog and find a nice spot just where I can pull up, have a fire. Haven't been able to do that in the trip yet, but thought I'd try and bleed the steering, and it doesn't seem to be working. So I'm here, nice little spot. I can steer it from the back. I can rig up a little bit of a handle and steer it like tiller steering, which be a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's possible. And I think my best plan, if I don't get it going today, I'm going to try and bleed it again, see if there's any air in the lines, but it seems to be, I think, the main steering box at the front isn't sealing, so we've got a bit of a problem. It would be great just to pull up at one of these spots once, tie up, chuck the rod out, start a fire, look at the scenery. But we're going to keep plugging on. Well, after talking to you on the bank just before, yeah, I couldn't get it fixed. It was turning to the left and not to the right. Now it's not turning anywhere, so I'm pretty sure it's the steering pump up the front. The hydraulic ram at the back looks good. I bled it, got any little bubbles out of it, air bubbles. And the weather wasn't too bad, so I decided I wanted to get back to Bowhill. So I've just spent probably an hour and 3/4, 2 hours bringing it back. I made up a bit of a tiller steer at the back with a dropper, bolted it on and sat at the back and looked through the front door and ran up the front every now and again to check it. So yeah, it's people that think cruising down the Murray is going to be a nice easy trip and a good time probably get it a bit wrong, especially with my situation. That's what happens when you buy a cheap houseboat. And but I've been working on it for a couple of years, but I knew there'd be something that'd get me. But we're going to fight through it. We're going to, even if I've got to stay here for a couple of weeks and get it sorted. But we'll just go for a walk up here. The whole place is in a bit of a mess because I've been chucking stuff left, right and centre trying to fix it. And this is what I think the problem is, the steering box in there. It used to, as I turned the steering wheel, you could see it pumping fluid, pushing it in and out. This is my filler hose, but now when you turn it, nothing's happening. So here was me steering. I sat here, had this dropper bolted in there, and that was my steering mechanism. How's it going, guys? Well, the steering, we've got it all fixed, touch wood. What happened? It was the helm pump that went, and I got in touch with a company called Hydrive in Adelaide. Great guy Steve helped me out heaps. I probably could have gone just with the helm pump, but decided my back hydraulic ram looked a bit old and shot, so I paid a bit extra, got the whole kit. I didn't have to get the lines because my copper hydraulic lines were good, but I did get a couple of short 3-foot extensions for the back so I could join the back up good. So hey, all going good. I've just come from Bowhill to just before Purnong, and it's all good so far. So that's the new helm pump there, and my hydraulic lines which fit in behind, all hooked up nicely to it, and we'll go and check the back out. And that's my new Commander high drive system there. I used to have a hydraulic ram which was bolted down the bottom there, which was old, and then it'd bolt to the side of the motor. All I've had to do here is put these couple of bit of extensions in to hook up to my hydraulic lines, just to free it up a bit, and it's all working good. And I'm thinking now that I'll be able to tilt the motor out of the water if I'm stopped for a certain amount of time. I couldn't do that before because the other hydraulic ram was bolted there and it wouldn't tilt up over it. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to tilt it up and have the shaft out the water. So here we go, guys. Take 2 for Purnong, or just before Purnong. That's the plan today. As I've said, I've got all new steering in. This is the first time driving it with it. It feels beautiful. Touch wood. The motor's purring along. It's a beautiful day. Something's going to go wrong. But we're not going to go that far today. I'm thinking probably only about an hour and a half. There's a little spot up around the corner. If the bigger houseboats haven't got it, but I'll find somewhere. And pull up at a nice isolated place for the first time on the trip. I've always been at reserves and places like that. Every time I pulled up at a nice little private spot where I can have a bit of a fire, I've had a breakdown. I just want to pull up just once at a nice isolated spot, tie up, sit on the chair, look at the river, and just smile. So we'll see how we go. I'm feeling a little bit confident. The steering does feel nice and smooth, better than what it was before. And yeah, beautiful day. I'll turn around and show you what I'm looking at. It's kangaroo going along the cliffs there. G'day, Mr. Kangaroo. There he goes. So yeah, we're about 400 metres upstream from the Bowhill shops. It's a beautiful day, and yeah, just check out the scenery. That's what it's all about. He's going to hide behind the bushes. Thought I had a companion for the trip. And here we are. First stop after Bowhill, just a short trip. Probably went about an hour and a half. I just want to give it a quick run and get into a nice spot where I can actually have a campfire. So this spot is actually where the Murray Princess pulls up on some Saturday nights and Sunday mornings. It hasn't been passed for a week or so. So, and it's now Sunday about 11 o'clock, so definitely nothing to worry about with the Murray Princess. So I'm just going to stay here for 1 or 2 nights. But this is the first time I've actually pulled up to one of these private spots where I can have a fire, and I haven't had a problem. The first one was before Murray Bridge, first spot was before Bowhill, and I pulled in there, and that's when I ran out of fuel and the motor wouldn't start, so I had to tow it to Bowhill. The second one was a spot actually just down a bit from here, and that's when I started having steering problem about here, and I pulled in, thought it just needed bleeding, no go, and I got in the back and I managed to steer it from the back of the boat all the way back up to Bowhill, where I was a bit safer and I could work on it. So As I've shown you before, all new steering in there now. I've actually pulled up here and no bloody problems, touch wood. Everything's going great, and we're going to have a bit of a campfire tonight. I'm going to cook up some bangers and mash, and I can't wait. This is the happiest I've been for a while. I know we're going to have other bit of downfalls and things, but little things go wrong, maybe major things go wrong, but while it's all good, I'm going to make the bloody most of it. So let's go for a bit of a look around the campsite I'm at. So this is where the Murray Princess pulls up some weekends. Probably when it's not COVID, it's probably here most Saturday nights and Sunday mornings, as it says up here on the sign. Got a few backwaters out here, and this looks a bit like a bit of a causeway, but doesn't look like any cars have been on this track for a while. So I've got some nice backwaters back here. I'm going to keep having a bit of a walk, try and go for my daily walk, get a bit of exercise. What a beautiful day though. Birds chirping in the background. We've got the pelicans over there trying to get a bit of carp. Okay guys, welcome to Gilligan's Tracking Tips. Now down here we have a fox print. Now by looking at that, there's a few things you can tell about this. The way the dirt is, it passed through about 14 days ago. The depth of the print means it was about a 4 kilogram heavy fox, and you can also tell that by the length of its little walk there. Welcome to more Gilligan's Tracking Tips, and here we have a kangaroo print, and there's a few things you can tell about this. He was about just a 4-footer, maybe 5 feet. He was going at a speed probably about 15 kilometers an hour. As you can see, his next jump is up there, and there's a fair chance that with the depth of the front of the toes there, he probably had a joey. Just how there's more weight on the front of the paws there. So yeah, that's a little bit of tracking information from Gilligan. Any more questions? Leave them in the comments. And while we're here, just next to the kangaroo print, we have a little bit of possum shit. That possum's only about 8 months old and female. Okay, more Gilligan's Tracking Tips. So what we have here is a male. He's slightly opposite the pigeon-toed, the way his feet point out at the toes as he's walking along. He'd be fairly big. He's about 6'4", and just by the indentation, probably about 120 kilos, with size 14 boots. So this is what it's all about. This is what I've been waiting for, to get me first little bonfire and have a cook up. We've got the potatoes there, nearly ready to start boiling. Fire's going pretty good. Right, we got the action going now. We got the sizzle going with the sausages. We got the potatoes boiling. It's looking good. And if you're wondering about this little cooking kit I got, it's called a Chaos something. Great little setup for cooking, or if you just want to have a little campfire and not make a mess, you can take the tops off and have a nice little fire. And it all just slides out, no bolts or anything, slides out and all fits into that little carry bag. So fairly brilliant idea. But first camp and cook is looking good. Okay, sausages, all the snags, all the bangers are looking good. All the potatoes going to be okay too, I think. Get rid of a bit of that water. Okay, we'll get a bit of butter on those. Nice hunk of butter in there. How hot's that now? Need to get this on something solid. Maybe in there. Could use a bit of milk, but I can't be bothered. Might put a bit more butter in a minute. Done. Just got the sauce, no gravy. I think I made too much mash. Looks bloody brilliant. Sensational. Absolutely brilliant. First feed for the day. Love it. Bangers and mash. Can't beat it. Listen to that wildlife. Bangers and mash. 8.3. That's my review. Well, that's going to finish this one off, guys. Had a few dramas, but we seem to have got through it at the moment. So if you like the video, press the like button and subscribe, all of that stuff. Tell your mates, leave any questions in the comments and I'll get back to you. So we'll catch you next week.